A few days ago, it was announced that Carmelo Anthony would finally be returning to the NBA, this time donning the jersey of the Portland Trail Blazers. And while the contract wasn't guaranteed, it's safe to say that everyone was happy that Carmelo was finally going to be on a basketball court. I mean, it seemed like a perfect fit, the Trailblazers and Carmelo. The Blazers were struggling with a 5-10 record, and they desperately needed a power forward, and Carmelo seemed to fit the bill. He had the floor spacing that they needed to give Lillard and McCollum driving room, and he could hit the open three when needed. In this video, we're going to be talking about Carmelo's debut, what his debut means, and whether or not Carmelo's going to be able to keep his contract by January and finally sign a guaranteed contract. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get into the video. Carmelo finally made his anticipated NBA debut with the Portland Trail Blazers against the New Orleans Pelicans on November 19th, and it's safe to say the basketball world was watching. Everyone wanted to know, was Carmelo going to adjust to the Blazers' type of play, like he failed to do in OKC? Was Carmelo going to be an effective shooter, an effective scorer with the Blazers, or would he be ineffective? Was Carmelo going to be able to keep up with the pace of the new game, or would he fizzle out? That night, Carmelo put up 10 points, 4 rebounds, no assists, had a block, but he also had 5 turnovers, 5 personal fouls, and shot just 28.6% from the field. However, on the bright side, he did shoot 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Melo didn't perform great, but he did have his moments. Melo showed that he was a capable catch-and-shoot three-pointer in that game, and that he was willing to set off-ball screens even if it meant that he wasn't getting the ball. He was also capable of setting on-ball screens and rolling to the basket, and I would like to see more of a pick-and-pop game from him in the future. Melo also seemed to be pretty quick on offense. He was able to get a couple of spin moves off, he was able to even dunk the ball when the ball wasn't in possession. He looked pretty springy for a 35-year-old. However, on defense, that's not really the case. Look, although I know Carmelo wasn't known for his defense, throughout his career, he played pretty average to slightly below average defense. He was a serviceable defender. However, in this game, it was pretty disencouraging to me that he didn't seem interested in defense at all. In fact, in one of the big possessions of the game, he missed a fadeaway jumper on Jrue Holiday, and Jrue Holiday came back on the offensive end. Melo picked him up, and Jrue Holiday just pulled up for a 3, and Melo didn't even try to contest it. Melo needs to change this mentality that he doesn't have to play defense because he's not the offensive player that he once was. He can't really get away with resting on defense because he can't really go off on offense like he used to. Another thing worth noting this game is that Carmelo had 5 turnovers, however, I think 2 of them were pretty BS calls. One of them was on a moving screen that a lot of NBA players get away with, but for some reason they called it on Carmelo, and another one was when Melo was posting up, and the defender clearly flopped, but the ref gave it to him anyway. However, 2 of his turnovers were because of his poor decision making and his indecisiveness. One of them came off a pick and roll with Hassan Whiteside. Melo tried to make a pocket pass, but there were 2 help defenders near Whiteside. There was no chance of it going through, and it got stolen. Another one of his turnovers was because of indecisiveness, and I feel that Melo should have been way more aggressive when he had the ball this possession. He had a mismatch against one of the New Orleans reserve centers, and he easily could have taken him to the basket for a foul or an and-one, or maybe even hit a pull-up jumper on him. However, Melo was really indecisive, and he decided, I should pass the ball to the corner, should I not pass the ball to the corner? But he finally decided to pass the ball to the corner when Brandon Ingram was lurking the passing lanes, and it was stolen. Another concerning thing is that he had 5 personal fouls, but I feel like it's because he was kinda out of shape and still needs time to adjust to the game. I mean, he's been out of the league for like over a year, give him a break. All in all, I think it was a pretty decent debut for Carmelo. I mean, it was his first game in over a year, so I think we should give him a break. He's clearly not in NBA shape yet, but give him time and he soon will be. There's a big difference between the NBA game and shooting baskets in an empty gym and running 5-on-5s. But if I were Carmelo, there are gonna be a few things that I would focus on so that I could sign that contract in January and get a guaranteed deal. I feel the big thing that Carmelo needs to focus on is his catch and shoot 3-pointers and his 1-dribble pull-ups. He has to make the game much more simple for him and keep all the extra dribbling, extra post-ups out of it. The last time Melo played mostly a full season was with the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2017-2018, and he was a really good catch and shoot 3-pointer for them. According to NBA.com, that season Melo took 4.8 catch and shoot threes per game and made 1.8 of them, equating to 37.3% on catch and shoot threes, which is a pretty good clip. And look, I know it's not at the level of Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, all the great shooters in the NBA, right? But it's still a very respectable percentage. I mean, he's a threat from there and defenses are gonna have to respect that. That in turn makes it easier for the two main stars of the team, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, to get to the basket for easy layups, or they could get to the basket and kick it out to Carmelo or other shooters for open three-pointers. Their gravity is that massive, and it'll make it easier on Carmelo and the other shooters on the Blazers. If Melo keeps it simple, doesn't try to do all this 7-dribble pull-up stuff, 7 dribbles, post fadeaway stuff, I think he'll be good. But another thing that I need him to focus on and that the Blazers really need is rebounding, because aside from Hassan Whiteside, I don't think the Blazers have that much rebounding. And sure, maybe a lot of you are thinking, oh, Carmelo's not going to put in the effort on rebounding, he never has, but he's actually been a pretty solid rebounder on his career. He averages 6.5 and he's had peaks of 8.1 with the New York Knicks and 7.7 with the Knicks as well. And while Carmelo may not have the bounce that he once had, he's still very smart, and he's smart enough to position himself to get these rebounds, or he's smart enough to position himself to box out the opposing players so that they won't get the rebounds. I mean, it's not like Carmelo is super skinny or anything, he's a solid frame and he can move people if he wants to. If Carmelo can get like 6.5 to 7.5 rebounds per game, I think it would help the Blazers a lot. But look, these are my final takeaways. We shouldn't be bashing Carmelo too hard for his performance. I mean, it's pretty good for a person who hasn't played in over a year. I feel that over time he's going to get back in shape, and then we'll finally be able to see how he can play still. Sure, he's not going to be the Denver or the New York Melo, but he's still going to be a pretty serviceable player in my opinion. But with all that being said, I'd like to thank you guys a lot for the support on my last video, the Markelle Fultz video. The video's popping off. I know it's like 600 something views or something, but that's a lot to me and it means a lot to me, and thank you guys so much. I gained like 5 subscribers off that video. We're at 135, and look, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel please. I would really appreciate it. Also, comment down below what you think is going to happen to Carmelo. Do you think he's going to sign that guaranteed contract to stay with the Blazers till the end of the year? Or is he going to be cut by the time that the contract expires? Let me know what you think in the comments below, like the video, subscribe, and with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day or night wherever you are.